Chad Arms TV, and we are back with another dope interview from the interview series, man. This is one that we've been talking about for a while. This is a super good dude, super talented guy, and we're fixing to sit down and let him tell his story, man. We got Stephen Molanders here, man.
What's
What's
up,
up,
man?
dog?
What's up, bro?
Man, just
It's an
up here at
honor.
this. I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, bro.
Good to finally meet you. I know we met. Was it yesterday? Was the first
Yeah,
time we
yeah,
met, right?
yeah.
You was here. We're shooting this interview during the 2 week country rap collaboration project that Adam and Demon and Broadnex were putting on. Which we can speak a little about that, like your experience with that, like
Yeah.
what you think. Um, we want to just get you to tell your story, man. Me and you've been talking about music and interview stuff for a minute.
Yeah.
We're finally getting able to do it, so I'm excited about it, man.
Yeah, man. Me too, bro. For sure.
So let's tell the people, man, where are you born and raised at, man?
I'm from Nacogdoches, Texas.
Okay.
It's East Texas. It's
Mm-hmm.
about 30, 45 minutes from Texas, Louisiana border.
Yeah.
And it's the oldest town in Texas.
Small town.
About 35,000. It's
Okay.
actually got a university, so that doubles during school season.
Yeah.
Or the school year, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen F. Austin State University is there.
Okay.
Lumberjacks.
Yeah.
And but it's pretty. I mean, it's a hometown, small town. Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's in everybody's business.
Right.
It's the small town thing.
Big football town. In Texas.
Yeah. Well, for like high school,
yeah,
high school
stuff.
it is. Yeah. They ain't never really been that good though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get hate for that, but
Right.
the Dragons ain't never been good, bro.
So what was it like for you growing up in that part of Texas like that? Like,
man, one thing I ain't gonna do is kind of have no sob story, but my childhood wasn't no picture perfect childhood. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
I grew up. My parents got divorced when I was probably 5 or 6. It was fairly rough. Going through all of that. I have an older brother and a younger brother
Mm-hmm.
with my mom and my dad, and then until about the 5th grade or so, my pops got remarried.
Yeah.
And my stepmom then had brought most of the structure, and it was a different life. I moved out from my mom's and moved in with my dad.
Yeah.
And so from about the 5th grade till I graduated high school was probably the most structure, other than having so my mom passed from she was addicted to prescription pain medication, and I'm talking about like 30 pills a day. Like,
oh man, was it
knock a script out?
RP to your moms. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Was it like Lortabs, or was it like heavy
Vicodin
yeah.
and stuff like that? And which she was alcoholic too.
Mm-hmm.
I released a record a while back. It's a fairly older record called Prescription Pills, but that's what it's about. And it's like Jelly's record.
Mm-hmm.
When I've seen Jelly live a couple of times, and
Mm-hmm.
the first time I seen him live, like my wife was holding me, and because I mean it hit home, I was crying. You know what I'm saying? Like it was my mama that he's talking about, because my mama was that too. The life of the party. Like even through high school.
Oh,
like,
she.
Yeah. Even through high school, like I thought it was cool until you got older, but I was the plug. Like my mom would go buy liquor and drinks and all that, and but just getting up older, and she, supposed to come and get you, she don't show up, and as a kid, you always feel like what you do, what did I do to cause this to happen?
What I deserve this.
Yeah. And then, but then after I graduated high school, my uncle, me and my pops were cool, but not like the greatest, My dad drank a lot. He just actually passed this year from alcoholism. But we had been on the outs for quite a time. But so my uncle,
I'm sorry to hear that about both your parents, man.
I appreciate it, bro. But my uncle was kind of like always my role model growing up.
Is that who you was closest to?
Yeah. And he was in law enforcement.
Was it your mom's or dad's brother?
My mom's brother. Yeah. And he was in law enforcement. So growing up, I always wanted to be like him, you know. And fresh out of high school, I went to work as a correctional officer at the local county jail. And I was working night shift, and they were like 25-man dorms in the county. And I was working in the back, and I was like 19, bro. I had no business being in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because, excuse me, aside from like petty stuff, most people in there is gonna catch the chain and go to TDC and prison.
Right.
And at 19, you ain't got no business trying to tell these
Wrangle them.
grown people what to
Right.
do. And, you know,
When they don't, most of them have nothing. They don't have anything to lose. A lot of
yeah,
them,
yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
especially the repeats, you know,
Yeah.
it's constant. And, but it's actually where I got sparked to start rapping, which is kind of crazy. Um, I was in, and this dude come to me. I was working. I say I was in, like I was in prison.
Right.
I was working in the jail, and
Yeah.
this dude come to me, and he's like, "Yo, Steven, you like rap music?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And he said, "What do you listen to?" I said, "Man, I've always been, being from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I never was really, really huge into that whole Texas culture of music. I was
Okay.
always a Pac, Scarface, you know, that was what I would listen to.
So the screw culture, like, that was never really something that you took to as much as
Yeah,
other
I
people
didn't
from
like
Texas.
gravitate towards the screw is itself, you know what I'm saying, and
Mm-hmm.
that sound. While I love it and respect it, it was
Yeah.
I always listened to people that, not to say that they were never saying anything, because they were speaking of their culture.
There's a lot of floss and stuff. I see what
Yeah,
you're
and
saying.
that's what
Yeah.
when a lot of
Yeah.
people speak of Texas music and they associate it to screw and swangers and all. That's actually Houston as a
Right.
whole. It's not
Yeah. Yeah.
actually Texas as a whole.
Yeah.
That's a Houston culture.
Yeah.
But so I always listen to Face and all of them. But so this dude asked me, he's like, "Well, I want you to listen to something," and I said, "Okay, cool." So it lights out. I go in this 25-man dorm with all of these cats, and this dude in the back sits down on his commissary box, and I had seen dudes rap in high school. Everybody,
Mm-hmm.
everybody raps in the lunchroom, beating on
Right.
the
Yeah.
couch,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. But nothing ever just kind of captivated me. And this dude sat down on this commissary box, bro, and he started beating on that box. And his name was Easy G, was his rap name. His name
Mm-hmm.
was Glenn Young, and he did this song called "Drops and Candy," and it was a play off of the Gap Band's "Outstanding."
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
bro, being a correctional officer, also I was having to like watch my surroundings and make sure I was
Not
good.
get hype while he's rapping. Like,
Yeah,
kind of try to
but
stay
it
in.
was really like one of those things was just like it just caught me by surprise. And then while I'm trying to watch and make sure everything's good, I'm noticing, you know, the Hispanics, the the old white man, the everybody's like just vibing to this dude, you know.
Yeah.
And so what I did from that, I was so intrigued by it. So what I did, so whenever I would come to work, it was almost like sitting on the block. I got him a job as a trustee because he was going to TDC, he was going to
Yeah.
prison, and I got him a job as a trustee and told him, "Hey, bro, anything you want to eat, I'll bring that shit to work as long as you got a new rap for me."
Mm-hmm.
And so at night we would sit in the back and he eat Taco Bell, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, whatever he wanted. I bring him food on my shift as long as he would rap a new rap for me.
Yeah.
And he went to TDC, and whenever he was gone, it kind of sparked my interest.
So that's he's what got you into wanting to
to
rap.
actual rap,
Yeah.
you know.
But growing up, it was Tupac, Scarface.
Yeah. I think the first tape I ever had was Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I think it's actually my brother had that. And I remember buying a Public Enemy tape. I didn't know what it was. I thought the cover was dope, bro. You know,
Yeah.
and put it in, driving down the road. It was a cassette bought it from Hastings,
Mm-hmm.
and put it in, push play, and my pops pulled it out, threw it out the window,
Almost instantly.
you know. So
Short lived.
but my uncle, who was my role model, man, when I was young, bro, it was always some shit I shouldn't have been listening to, like Two Live Crew,
Yeah.
Ghetto Boys. And you know, I'd come home singing Two Live Crew and get whooped. You know,
Yeah.
but he had this little hard body S10 with these 410s in it, you know, single cab, and it was just the greatest thing to me as a kid, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was, I think, that's where the hip hop part come from, the
Yeah.
rap side. And then getting older, you know, I grew to like, you know, my favorite music to listen to nowadays is just old country. You know, I'm a George Jones, Jamie Johnson kind of guy. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I just started rapping, writing raps, you know, trying to have fun. And one night at a party, I did it for some buddies of mine. Like I was half drunk, and it was like a old Juvenile beat was playing. I think back that thing up was actually the song was playing,
Mm-hmm.
and I just started rapping. And I thought everybody was gonna laugh, you know.
Yeah.
And then my homeboy Jesse Ross grabbed me and said, "Come outside, bro." He's like,
Yeah.
"Do that again." I'm like, "Man, I ain't doing that shit again."
Yeah.
He's like, "Do it again." And so
You
I
thought it
did
was
it.
yeah.
He seen something I didn't see, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I did it. And then right after that, not long after that, man, it was just online, getting beats from online. And I never did any kind of side anything. We booked a legit studio that's there in Nacogdoches. He paid for it. I think it was like $45 or $75 an hour or something. And it was we recorded I recorded a whole album. And it was bad, bro.
What time frame is this? Do you know? You remember?
2003.
Okay, so you've been doing it as long as me,
Yeah.
as long as I have, yeah. Oh yeah.
And we recorded it there. I mean, this was it was 8-at tapes. Like it wasn't nothing digital, about it, And then in 04, I had a homeboy who played professional soccer from Nacogdoches, and he signed a deal with Nike, and he was at this like this tryout camp for the U.S. men's national team, and he rapped just freestyle, and the Nike rep filmed it. Well, they put it on like their NikeSoccer.com site, and it got quite a few views, and I think YouTube or something maybe. And they asked him and said they had this idea from the views that it got. They had this idea about, doing some kind of song for Nike. And all he had ever done was freestyle. They would freestyle in the car or going to school or on the weekends.
Yeah.
And so he reached out. It was one of those kind of don't forget where you came from deals. And he reached back home and was like, "Yo, Nike's wanting to do this deal with us. Would you be interested? Are y'all interested in doing it?" And I said, "No, for sure." And so that ended up, it was a cool experience. You kind of go into some stuff like that. You don't really know what to expect. I mean, you just out of nowhere, you're doing this song campaign thing for Nike and you had never done anything like that, Yeah. And so they gave us like a $10,000 budget for the record, which was a lot of money for a record back then,
And it took 10 grand for a record. And what year was it?
This was 04.
04, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that is a lot of money back then, especially.
And so
early on, to like a year in, you get that kind of, so that was
yeah. And in between all of that, I was just dropping mixtapes. Like it was just well-known instrumentals. I'm rapping on.
That's all it was in 03, 04.
That's it, bro. It was just mixtapes. And
I didn't even know what SoundClick was yet.
No.
It was like 06.
It was MySpace days, bro.
Yep.
So we did. So anyway, he comes in, and we had found his producer out of Boston, and we got a record from him. He came in, and we ended up getting me and at the time my manager Michael Shahade at the time, who's still a homeboy of mine. He's in LA doing music stuff now, but we were at Los Magnificos car show in Houston, and we ran into Big Hawk, and we had connected with Hawk.
Yeah.
We had connected with Hawk on that tip of just some features and stuff like that. So when this Nike deal came up, Clint was a big Screw fan. And so I said, well, I got Hawk on deck for possible features. So we reached out to Hawk, and man, it was like, it just built, like Hawk ended up being one of my big brothers. Like, I mean, we spent a lot of time together. He'd come to NAC. He'd just pull up on my shows and perform. And, but we do this, that we go in the studio, we write the record. And it's initially just Clint and Hawk. My buddy, Clint Dempsey, is the soccer player.
Yeah.
It's just them on the record initially. And we send the record back to Nike and we get a $3,500 budget for a video. Like you get 10 grand to do the record and 3,500 to shoot a video. Man. This is the days of like Dr. T like stinging for 50 G's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we end up taking the record and getting it mixed at 7303 in Houston and meet Dr. Teeth. And that's when he was like 50 G's or whatever. But
for the music videos?
That's what he was saying. Yeah, that's how much he was hitting for. Yeah.
I remember that. That's isn't that crazy, bro?
Yeah. $50,000, bro. Like,
yeah.
So
it's like White said the I Show Will video they did in 04 was 50 grand.
Yeah. So the record was like it was a cool record. So, but they were, Nike gave all this stuff, that they wanted to change
stipulations.
Different. So right when we got it back, I wasn't on the record, and I called Shahade. I said, I'm on my way to the studio. I'm finna get on this record. Like I'm gonna make my way on this record. So I go in, I rewrite the hook, and I do the intro, resubmit the record, and get $35,000 budget for the video just off what I changed. But what they did was they tried to get me off the record. So when they get it back, they tell Hawk, well, you just do this. And Hawk stood up and he's like, nah, I like the record how it is. This how it needs to be. So
they were just gonna try.
It was just one of those deals,
move
like
you out, basically.
Well, it was from the outside looking in. At that time, my ego was like, nah, motherfucker, I'm gonna be on this, But from the outside looking in, you got Nike that's got this athlete that they rep, that they're paying, and he's saying that this dude is a legend in Texas with music. Who the fuck is this dude? You know what I'm saying? So for marketing, it made sense for them. Right. But I ended up on the record. I wrote the intro, wrote the hook, performed the hook, and even for the first time, wrote some of the treatment for the music video. Like the intro was all I wrote. I didn't get paid a whole lot. I got gangs and kicks though. That was kind of dope at the time.
Yeah.
But it kind of bumped me up, and people started kind of realizing who I was, and I ended up going to New York for a little while, and ended up in this weird situation, bro. That was like, that scene from Training Day, when the white dude goes to the Mexican dude's cribs, like, and it's like all the chicks and all that's going on. It was the same situation, but it was Cubans, and this dude had found me on MySpace and wanted me to come through and meet his manager. And the dude was a boxing dude. But long story short, on that deal, I ended up in this house in the Bronx. And,
he's just interested in your music?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I go over there with a buddy of mine at the time, him and his girlfriend, and we go in there, we walk in this room, and there's like boxing heavy championship belts all on the walls and shit. And he just snaps like this. And the chicks just walk out of the room and they close the door. And at this moment, I'm like, damn, bro, you got me in the Bronx. I'm from Texas, man. You got me in the Bronx. And I'm looking out the window because I'm looking at the window to dive out of the window. You know what I mean?
You think you done got set up or something?
Yeah. And then Cuban Links walks by.
Oh, yeah. Fire. Fat Joe. The dude used to be Fat Joe and Pun. Yeah.
And so Cuban Links comes in. And this was around the time, man, I just did this Nike thing. I'm kind of feeling myself. Back home, people like, rap something. I'm like, man, I ain't rapping unless you pay me,
Yeah.
And my buddy knew that. Well, they come in, me and Links, introduce each other, and we talking, and he's like, spit something. And I rap for him, and he's like, bro, you dope. You got a dope voice. You got, delivery's dope. We're going to connect. We're going to do some shit. We're going to connect. I said, okay, we all dap up. We start walking out. We're going down the driveway, and my homeboy's like, hey, man. I said, just shut up. Just get to the car, bro. We are not linking up. We're not coming back. And we get in the car. He's like, bro, I didn't think you was going to rap. I said, dog, I was rapping for our lives. What you talking about? I was looking at the windows to dive out. I said, I don't give two shits about coming back over here, bro.
So what do you think it was? They just was...
Man, it was just a different environment for me. I don't know. It just wasn't a...
You just wasn't feeling it.
Nah, man. And honest truth, like, that's kind of been my struggle through hip-hop the whole time is... I ain't never been a drug dealer. I ain't never, me and Adam Calhoun were just downstairs talking about this.
Yeah.
Like, and it's the same with the come up. Like, it's just a whole different vibe and feel. Like I didn't spend time on the block. Like, and so when I got into music and started writing and rapping, I've never done anything about some shit that I'm not doing.
Right, same here. Yeah,
so it was always the struggle.
No dope boy shit.
It was always the struggle for me and my moms and, or hating ass friends or fake friends, that kind of shit. So I just knew that wasn't where I needed to go anyway, so I was good just to move around. It was never bad. They never tried to do any ill on their side. It was just the vibe wasn't comfortable for me.
Yeah, it just wasn't. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And so, and then I got an invite to do. They tried to recruit me for that Great White Rapper show.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember that?
Was that with a riff on there? Riff Raff was on there? Or was
Now
that
that
G's to Gents?
Shamrock
Shamrock.
dude. Now Riff was on that.
G's to Gents.
Yeah, G's
Yeah.
to Gents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I turned that down, which was probably the great choice.
Oh, the Great White Rappers. Yeah.
Yeah, I turned that down, but I did go to they did let me go out to the finale shooting, and so we just kind of moved forward, man, and just kept making music and shit. And then I kind of took a break. Um, I had moved to Vegas, which was a bad move for music, but I thought that was the move because it's like entertainment capital, And '07, I moved to Vegas, me and Michael Shahade, and it was, I mean, within the first week, I mean, I was in the radio with DJ Franzen, and like I was in there with the people.
Yeah.
And then I turned 25, and I had kind of put a cap on myself. Like, man, if you don't make about 25, you just need to hang this shit up.
Bro, so to say what you're saying about that, I remember vividly, me and Squints, who's my business partner, my dog for 20 years, we're standing at this show, and it was our umpteenth showcase that year in front of 16 people, and all of them were artists. And at the time, this was probably 09, so we were 25, 26, and we said, if we're still rapping at 30, make each other stop rapping.
Yeah.
And here we are. He's rapped some, but here I am, and just hitting stride at 41.
I'm 42.
Yeah, so it's like, it's crazy how that but that was the perception. Then it wasn't cool to be rapping at our ages. You know what I mean? So,
and to be honest with you, bro, it's still not cool.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're in it. The people in it accept it. It's a lot of people that are skeptics, are like, man, you too old for this shit. You know?
For sure.
But in Kinfolk, I keep looking over here. If y'all looking at me, I'm looking at Kinfolk sitting on the floor over here. He's just supervising. Mm-hmm. But Kinfolk was like, he'd been with me pretty much since day one. Mm-hmm. My buddy Jesse Ross supported that first project, but most stuff after that, Kinfolk was around, and I moved into a house with Kinfolk, and my room was the studio, and this was you rapping in the closet, the closet was the vocal booth, and but he's been down since day one, and even at this point, it was like, he's like, bro, it's time to stand on the gas, when you start making the connections that you've made. He's like, you got to stand on it. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen now, and if it don't, hey, you went down swinging, bro.
You can't question what if,
So but yeah, I left Vegas. Shahade, cried because he had rapped and stuff, but he had quit rapping and got out of it until he met me and was like, bro, you gave me life to do this again. And he rapped a little, but he was more trying to just get people somewhere. So when we moved to Vegas, it was on him, and I moved back in November of 2007 and went to work in the oil field. And this is the first time in my life I ever made money, and so I just worked. I got real fit when I went to Vegas, and I worked out all the time. I ate like a bird, was running 6-7 miles a day, got home making money. I had a girl who is my wife now that I've been with since I was 8, but I put her through teetotal hell, bro, and especially I've always been a bigger dude, but then when I got, fit, I'm at the club with all this money, and I'm getting this attention, and so we had been engaged and called it off and this and that, and I just kind of took a break for a while, and then Clint and I, what was it, 2014, I probably took what, 4 or 5 years off or so. I just worked, man. I didn't do shit. I just worked, and in 2011, my son was born in 2011, and so that was kind of the main focus at that time too, and I started dabbling with music a little bit again, and then me and the homie Clint Dempsey recorded a whole project we never put out, but the single got debuted, and I'm probably the brokest person that you'll ever meet in your life that was on the front page of the Wall Street Journal for a rap record, bro. It was on E, it was in Sports Illustrated, it was in Rolling Stones, it was XXL. We had dropped a record called It's Poppin', but we never dropped it like through a distribution. Wall Street Journal wanted to debut it. And so it's the craziest shit ever, bro. And Clint,
How did that happen?
man,
Y'all,
so with Shahade stayed in Vegas, right?
and this is what year was this?
07 when I left, but this was around 14, I think.
Okay, when you came back, yeah.
Yeah, started rapping again. Shahade had stayed in Vegas and ended up in LA. And I mean, he went to work at Jerry's Deli, which is a famous deli. You know, a lot of celebrities go through. He ended up meeting this dude that had some. It was either a dude or a chick, I can't remember, but had connections with this her cousin or uncle or whatever was in the music business. I want to introduce you, so they introduced, and long story short, for him, he ends up with DJ Ski, and he's DJ Ski's executive assistant, and like helps build all of that. Ski had got that Ski TV. He was a producer on that. Just kind of, he was just growing in LA, doing his thing. So when Clint decides he wants to do some shit again, and is like, hey man, let's do some music. I'm like, cool, let's do it. Um, the buzz around it was around the World Cup also. And Clint was in Brazil at the time when we dropped the record, and it was just kind of, Ski actually was kind of behind. It was some plug that he had at the Wall Street Journal.
Right.
And the shitty part about it was the way it turned out though, was it was almost like they dropped it, American, and Clint was the US men's national team captain at the time. And so they're like, US men's national team captain drops rap song, but underneath it was like Terry Bradshaw's video when he did music, and whoever, I don't know if it was Sam, but they tried to make a mockery of Sammy Sosa's video. And so it kind of caused some bad blood and issues, but it was still just like, the Wall Street Journal wants to debut this record.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And but moving forward past that, we got past that, and then EA Sports, he made the cover of EA Sports of FIFA 14. Clint was on the cover, so they flew us out to New York, and it was me, him, and the big bro Trader Truth. And
fire.
Yeah, Trey, and we had a record on there too. We had 2 records on there actually. We go out to New York, perform together, and did a lot of interviews with different people and shit. And but we never dropped the album, and it was just based mainly just because, man, it was almost one of those things. Like, at the end of the day, the crazy part is with this business, like, I think if you was to ask most people that are doing this generally for the love of the music, the biggest downfall of growing is the attention, like, and people knowing you, like, and it's never really been a thing that I've like seeked, and around Clint and doing all of that, it makes it look like, how it is, bro. You're around more people that's cracking than most.
Yeah.
And they look at you like, oh, you've made it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So then you get all that attention, and it's like, man, it's people that wasn't cool with you. Now they want to take pictures, and they
100%,
want, and so,
or than you a year prior to that.
yeah,
shit,
like, so Clint had called me after we did an EA Sports show, and he's like, yo, they Jimmy Fallon wants to know if we'll do Jimmy Fallon. And I said, what do you want to do? He said, bro, I don't really want to do this shit. I said, then don't do it. And it's like, but then you sit back, like where I'm sitting now, I'm like, man, I should have done Jimmy Fallon. Yeah. But also, it's that double-edged sword where I'm at a place in life now too, where if I'd have got anything back then, like really, really got it, I wouldn't have it.
That's the same way. That's the same way I say about because I took 2 years off because I just was burnt out and was doing drugs and shit. And if I tell myself all the time, I second guess, like, why didn't you? But if I would have kept going where I was, I wouldn't be where I'm at now.
No, for sure.
I'd have been fucked off.
Yeah. If I'd have got a deal, like, somebody called me from Sony one time, and it was probably just some intern A&R trying to something, music was, this was MySpace days and shit. I heard your music. I did I paid Papa. You remember Papa Roo?
Oh yeah.
I did
New Orleans guy.
Yeah, I paid Papa Roo for a feature one time. Went to his studio, record the record, and he tries to sign me. And stay down there. How long? We go down there quite a bit. Kinfolk was my road dog. Like, we were riding back and forth, and We go down there and record a bunch of records. I never forget. I was in there. I record. We had this record where it was "She Worked Hard for the Money," and it was just a play on that. She worked hard
Yeah.
for the money, and this dude walks in, and we're sitting in there, and Papa Roo, we had just recorded the verses, and this dude walks in, and he hears it, and he stops. He's like, "Damn, who is that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's him." And dude's like, "That's you?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Like, "Man, I need to holler at you." And Rue is like, "Nah, what's up? What you got?" And goes outside with the dude. And he came back in, he did his thing, and but it was Tony Draper.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that's so,
Slaughterhouse.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I hit Shahada and had told Shahada, I was like, I don't know who this dude was, Draper. So he's like, Tony Draper. I was like, yeah, yeah, that's who. He's like, bro. He's like, 8 Ball
You just keep,
MJG.
yeah, just stuff just keeps just getting,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh shit, for real. But anyway, long story short, with the Papa Roo shit, man, the deal was I was gonna sign to Roo. He was gonna sell me the music world, and he was gonna get paid off me forever. That was the contract. Like, and I was like, nah, I can't sign this, bro. And he just told me, good luck with your career. I said, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about him the other night. It was like, hey, bro, good luck with your career. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
but so yeah, man, just it's just evolved to this, to where so I linked up. I went to work at a trucking company just
Mm-hmm.
to get current. Um, did music, took a little break, back on music a little bit, and it was kind of hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
I got 3 kids now. I ended up marrying the wife that I put through shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's been my road dog since we were 8.
That's crazy. Since
Man,
y'all were
love her
in
to death,
elementary.
bro. Surprise wedding. She didn't even know, bro. Like I planned the whole wedding. She didn't even know she was getting married. Like bought 2 dresses. Like no shit, bro. It's the craziest shit ever. But anyways, we got married and all of that. I ended up going to work at this trucking company, and he wanted me to come on as a marketing guy, drive part time, but then market part time. And it was, this is social media is really starting to get
Mm-hmm.
TikTok's cracking and all of that. And he had asked me to write a song about his company, and I said, well, man, I can't like make no fucking jingle or nothing like that, but let me just see what I can cook. You know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrote the record Shift
Mm-hmm.
that I had dropped, and he always laughed and would say that that was my job interview, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and but it was just a play, and a lot of people were like, "Damn, bro, I ain't never heard a record about trucking that's like this shit is dope," and it did good. It's like 2.5 million streams or something right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of sparked me again, like kind of put life in me a little more. And then I wrote the 10 Luck Thug record, and then everybody started calling me that, and I started doing a lot of concerts at these truck shows, which the truck show world is crazy too. It's a whole different world in itself. But then you're traveling all over. We would do 10, 11 shows a year because we had show trucks at the company. So as marketing and social media, we're growing and building all this shit, and you're getting popular in the trucking community. It's crazy because dudes on social media now, you're at these truck shows, you're signing autographs and taking pictures like you're famous, all from social media. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And you're doing the same shit job everybody else is doing. You're working at a trucking company. But I started, writing and getting into the music a little bit more again, and that's what linked me finally with linked me up with Colt Ford. We
Yeah.
booked him for an event, and me and Colt built. Though I booked Colt and we got him there, I had linked him with somebody else, and he booked a show. And then I booked him at this big truck show that we put on in Nacogdoches, called Old Town Rig Down,
Mm-hmm.
and booked Joe. Had Joe Tyler come out. Um, but mine, though I booked Colt, mine and Colt's relationship had never been about music. Though we booked when we linked, we were on the bus. He's thanking me for booking him. We're just shooting the shit. You know what I'm saying? And then the
Mm-hmm.
relationship just got to where that's all it was about. And that's why I don't have no records yet with Colt. Because it
Yeah.
was never about, yo, bro, I need you on this record.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until probably a month ago or so, we went to Tulsa to his crib, helped
Mm-hmm.
him do some shit around his house,
Mm-hmm.
and I had told him somebody quoted me some crazy number for a feature. And he's like, bro, I do verse for you for free. I said, bro, I already know that. It ain't. That's on love. I know that. That's not the deal. And I linked up with 3030.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I gotta say, I dropped that record vibing with Joe Tyler,
Mm-hmm.
and then 3030 reached out to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm at a place where, like, it's like we said before, it's just good people, bro.
Yeah.
And you can just read people and
Mm-hmm.
know that they're good people. And, even talking to 3030 first through text message or messenger and then texting and, you know, we linked and I sent, I always send Colt my records. Anything I write and record, I shoot to him. You know, I believe Colt's the OG of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if he tells me it's gas, then it's gas. If he tells me it's trash, then I'm going to start over. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And he would always tell me dope, dope, dope. And then I sent him a record called How I Was Raised. And that was the first time I got from him, bro, I love this record.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, cool. Um, what you want to do? You want to do something on it? And he's like, send it to me. Yeah, we'll do it. And then unfortunately he's in a situation, right now he don't got
Mm-hmm.
a way to really get around to record and do
Right.
that. I linked up with Dylan. He linked me with Dylan Maloney, who's his producer too. And we were working on a project right now. And then Dylan had surgery. He's been down, so it's just been
Mm-hmm.
kind of star. And that was a good thing about linking with 3030 too, because when I linked with 3030, in that it was in clutch time. You know what I mean?
Oh
To start putting
yeah,
records out.
that's my brother right there. Shout out Dub. Shout out Colt. That's awesome. That's my dog too.
Yeah.
But
And
Dub, yeah, yeah, Dub's he's a real one.
and then just the latest record I dropped is a record called Moonlight with King Ego.
Mm-hmm.
And it's doing good, man. And Ego's a talented dude. And
Oh, he goes. That's another one of my dogs, bro. They
yeah,
were up here. I had him and Joyband come up here 2 or 3 nights ago, and they laid a hook on something.
yeah,
Hopefully, it'll get
yeah.
something else on it.
Joy
But
Band's hard too, man.
yeah, I've been
He can
knowing them.
rap.
I've been knowing them. Me and Joyband got a couple of records together from 2021, and then they've been killing it, man. And they just finally, all the work they've been putting in, it shit took
Somebody
off, man.
seen
Now
it.
they're
Yeah,
through the roof, bro.
yeah.
But salute to them too.
Yeah. I seen when they just dropped that Family Ties.
Yeah, bro.
And like overnight, it was like 1.5 million streams.
Yeah, bro, they're killing it, dude. And I was, yeah. Shout out to them, man. I'm excited about seeing that.
Dope, bro. So that's it right now, man. I got more stuff coming. I got some records I'm gonna drop with Colt Ford. I had a project planned, and I'm just kind of game planning in that, and I'm just gonna drop singles until I got a goal to reach on my following. That once I reach that, then I'll drop a full project, because I feel a lot of times records get lost sometimes, and so I'm doing a complete opposite of Chad Arms.
Right.
I'm gonna drop one song a month.
Hey, bro, that's still
Chad Arms is gonna drop one record a month.
Dude, bro,
one album a month.
Hey, man, that's dope though.
But so yeah, I got a record coming called Bougie on the Budget with Dusty Lee and Bubba Sparks.
Fire.
I got a Bird's Eye View with Kid Ziggy.
Ziggy's my dog too,
Ziggy's
bro. Ziggy's
dope,
on this next grade to go. I'm dropping. Yeah.
I got some more cooking with Joe Tyler. Always Joe Tyler's my little bro. I got of course Colt Ford. Who else on the project? And we ain't talking about him. He's talking about you. He pointed to Chad. He's like, Chad's on the project.
I was gonna say, yeah, me.
Yeah, we're gonna cook something.
I mean, you got something cooking too.
Yeah, for sure. And then and who else I got on there? Sean Mecca. I don't know if you know Sean Mecca. You ever heard Sean Mecca?
That name familiar.
Yeah, Hispanic dude from he's from McAllen. He's dope, man. He's dope. And we're gonna do a project together. We've done a couple shows together. It's just a lot, man. A lot of people, but
dope
production wise is Dylan and 3030. That's probably, and then my homie Jay Black has done a couple records. I got the Man on a Mission, that Talk to Him record I dropped.
Yeah.
Jay Black produced it.
Okay.
But yeah, man, we just gonna keep moving forward, bro. And
that's dope, man. That's a dope. This was a dope interview, man. You got a cool story and got a lot of cool things that you've been able to do in the 20 plus years you've been doing music. But to see you're in a spot now where you're kind of at the height of where your music stuff is, and it's just gonna keep building. That's just a testament to the work and stuff. So,
and that's the crazy thing, like we've been saying about the age thing, like is, if you'd have asked me at 24,
oh bro,
would you be still doing
No,
this
I'd have
at
laughed.
42? No,
Yeah.
for real, I told you it's crazy as hell,
Yeah.
you know. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to, because I'm a dude that's had a ton of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't happy, bro, I'm leaving. Like,
Yep.
it comes down to something that if you're passionate about it, you truly love it,
Yep.
and you consist, it don't matter, bro. You know what I
No.
mean? Like, at the end of the day, you know, if it's not rapping, then, you know, transition to just creating and writing, you know, or something. So, you
Yeah.
know, but and this deal that they're doing here is it's a dope, you know, concept.
No, for sure.
It's a great networking
No, for sure.
situation.
More than anything,
Yeah.
if you get on a record that makes the album awesome, but it's not, to me, it's not even about that as much as it is what we're doing, like stuff
Yeah.
like the network and the meeting people. You know, there's people there. I wish I could have told you how many artists were here that met Dub 3030 and Jake Angel the other night and had already leased 20, 30 of their beats and never met them in person.
Yeah.
They're like, man, I got this, you know, and
Yeah.
seeing that kind of stuff's cool. Seeing artists work together. To me, that's what it's about the most. The
Yeah.
album is going to be dope, but even if I'm not a part of the album, it's okay because I'm
Yeah.
a part
Well, there's
of
not very many times, like, and I'm not gonna say any names, but there's not very many times that you're gonna be in a recording studio with somebody that's got 1.5 million Spotify monthly listeners
and two,
and somebody's got 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they're treating them equally. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. You
like
know?
they're giving them opportunity to lay
And
verses.
I know process. Like, for me, I have a process. Like, you know, and I have a spot that I record at home.
Yep.
And my process is the way I do it.
Same here.
So for me, it's chaos.
It's chaos.
So
me
many
too,
people.
bro. Me too.
It's just too much going on, you know. But from a networking standpoint, it's a good look, you know. And yeah, I mean, if you know, if you get on there, cool. And that was me and Kenfolk's conversation on the way here. Like, look, bro, if we get on a record, cool. But that's the last thing that we're worried about. Let's just go network. Because me and Shahade, when we made all those connections in Houston, you know, I mean, there's a lot of shit that I left out because there's so much you do, you know. But like, we never had no plans, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've met Paul. I know Paul. Been in the studio with Paul. I've introduced Bun B at the album release when Bun B dropped Trill. Like, I introduced him at Music Depot. Like,
oh, fire.
So that type of shit. Like, but that was no plan.
Yeah.
Let's just go to H-Town. Let's go, and we go to Music Depot, which is the big spot in Houston where artists would do in stores, you know. And we just met. We met the owner, and he's like, "Oh shit, yeah, no, you're dope. Here, hey, introduce so and so. Hey, Chameleonaire's dropping a record next week. You know, come back, introduce him. You know what I mean?"
Dope.
So we didn't have no plans, and I had called him and told him, I said, "Look, bro, we never planned any of that shit. So let's just go." Now Houston's 2 hours away. This is 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, a little different.
So, but already having, you know, the connection with Joe Tyler and shit, I knew we could cook and do something and
make it worth the trip.
Yeah. And what I say, worst case scenario, bro, we drive 9 hours to eat some Prince's hot chicken and drive back home, bro. Shout out to Prince's.
Hell yeah.
But we ain't ate it yet. I ate Hetty B's today because I want to try it and compare. So I'm going to ask Chad Arms, who got the best Nashville hot chicken?
Bro, I'll tell you this. I'm the wrong one to ask about hot chicken because I can't do it. Like, I'd love to. My body won't let me eat hot food, bro.
Indigestion and shit.
Yeah, it's real bad. Like, I just can't do it. But most of the time when I hear, like, my homies, they pick Prince's over Hattie B's.
We ate Prince's the last time we was in Nashville, and we came in to kick it with Brian. We went there and ate it. Brian went with us. Yeah. And that shit was so good, bro. Yeah. It's like eating chicken for the first time again.
Yeah.
And Hattie B's was good. Don't get me wrong.
I feel like I've had Hattie B's, and I've had the mild, like, and it was just it was cool. Yeah. I just didn't get the hype. The sides were just kind of okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the super,
is better than Prince's because it's got, you know, the shirts and what did he say? Anywhere that got a 40-ounce, they had a 40-ounce glass Miller High Life bottle. Yeah. Like, damn, you get a 40 at this motherfucker.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's dope, bro.
You got anything else you want to ask her?
Man, no. I guess that pretty much wraps it up, man. I think that this was a dope interview, and I'm glad that the people are gonna get to know a little bit more about you. And you got the new single coming out, so when this drops, the single will have a release date. We'll put a pre-save link, or if it's already out, we'll put the streaming the smart link for
it.
With Dusty and Bubba. So, man, I appreciate us being able to get to do this, man.
No, it's an honor, bro. I really appreciate it too. Yeah.
Yeah, and y'all look forward to that, his new project. You'll see me on there, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
Steve Molanders, Chat Arms TV, baby.
Yes, sir.